Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Welcome back for another weekend edition, if you will, where I try to talk just a little bit lower. Last weekend people were saying that I was talking too slow. I don't know if just your first time on the channel, but every weekend I try to talk a bit slower. There is an option on the YouTube page somewhere, I don't know exactly where you can actually speed me up around like 1.5%. So if I'm talking too slow, you can definitely speed it up so it is more comfortable for you. Without further ado, over 70% of global investors responding to questions from major exchange Huobi believe the cryptocurrency market will expand by more than 1/3 this year. Part of findings in Huobi's H1 market report, Global Blockchain Industry Overview and Prospects, published last month, those asked overwhelmingly favored a substantial increase in market value as the most likely outcome for the second half of 2018. A further 18.6% expect a slight increase of between 10 and 30%, while those predicting flat performances for a slump number only around 10%. I don't think the market will only go up by 10% by the end of the year. Sounds kind of weird. The positive sentiment comes despite an ongoing downturn across crypto assets. Huobi noting that 67% of new coins were trading below issuance price in June. There's a little graph there of what they took. Looking forward, a selection of experts gathered by Australian news outlet Finder predicted that 2018's winner may not only be Bitcoin, but altcoin assets, which saw major price decreases in Q1 of this year. While Bitcoin should reach $15,000 by December 31st, it is assets such as Cardano and EOS which will see the biggest transformation, rising around 250 to 300% respectively. Tron, the group says, could rise up to 342%. Huobi, meanwhile, was more attentive to altcoins, summarizing 2017's ICO rush as a demonstration that a paradigm shift in the crypto assets market from consensus on peer-to-peer cash to like Bitcoin to consensus on smart contracts is forming. In terms of broader trends, its report highlights 6 rationalities for cryptocurrency market expansion. These are penetration, crypto finance will penetrate traditional markets, application, only use cases, blockchain could see set the market on fire, okay, and mergers and acquisitions, acquisition of high quality internet applications through crypto assets will happen. So not to hype anything up, but traditionally it is around Q3 September, around September of every year is when we see a huge resurgence in prices of cryptocurrency, not only in cryptocurrency, but also in the traditional stock market. And this is because as people are coming back from their summer vacations, everyone's looking to make money. This is kind of the idea behind it, at least. So it's predicted still that anywhere between July to September is when the crypto market could reignite itself. But we've heard this multiple times before. There was actually something else I was reading, and they were talking about that the crypto market is actually down for the first time ever in Q1 and 2. It usually has some type of little spike up, but this is the first time ever with millions of extra people now in the crypto market or now holding cryptocurrencies or who are dealing in it or who are mining. Their prices are actually down, so it's kind of something very special. It's a very special event that we're actually having in the cryptocurrency space. But to be real, we have about, 5-6 months left in the year. So there's still a lot of hope because even if you look at prices, always try to look at the prices from the year before or the year before that to see exactly where cryptocurrency was. And you can see that even sometime around this, we weren't at 20,000 last July of 2017. I don't think we were even at 7,000 or something like that. So there's always space for the market to grow. We always need some type of catalyst, and it could be that when we receive regulatory clarification that this could be the thing that ignites the market. Next up, Bitpanda is in the news. One of the most important crypto platforms in the European continent announced that its engineers are working in adding more cryptocurrencies in the future. More importantly, the exchange will be supporting ERC20 cryptocurrencies. I'm not going to read their tweet. With this integration, the exchange will be able to give support to tokens that run on the Ethereum blockchain. Most of these currencies have been created after ICOs and successful fundraising campaigns. The main integration is to strengthen the industry, offering as many virtual currencies as possible, and listing ERC20 tokens is part of the expansion. I don't have a list of how many ERC20 tokens there actually are, but there are a lot. You know, we get used to kind of seeing the, what is it, like the top 10, 15, 20 coins or something like that. I think there's like maybe over 1,000 ERC20 tokens that are actually listed or have been created on top of Ethereum. It's actually kind of insane. The company informed in a blog that as soon as ERC20 support is implemented, they will be adding new tokens, including Ox, Augor, and Omise Go. They wrote, ERC is a standard which tokens running on Ethereum platform must follow. It is basically a smart contract with a predefined set of rules which have to be met in order to successfully run on Ethereum's blockchain. Most of the ICO tokens are based on the ERC20 standard, including important currencies in the crypto market. The company has also announced that it has integrated full wallet support for Komodo, or KMD. This is very important because the trade-only option, buy and sell, has been changed to a fully functional wallet. It will also include the option to deposit and withdraw from or to any wallet accepting Komodo. I myself don't use Bitpanda. I noticed a number of people in the comment section before that they have used Bitpanda, and I think they said it was okay, if I'm not mistaken. Any news about any relatively major exchange adding any other coins is always good news in my book. I've said this multiple times before. I just assume that most people listening to my videos don't have 3,000 Bitcoin in their arsenal. Most people, they're like charts and graphs for this. A lot of people hold more altcoins than they typically do Bitcoin, as altcoins tend to be a bit more light on the wallet. So them adding ERC20 tokens is absolutely wonderful. I hope that they end up doing this relatively soon, because this will only help the market, help liquidity. Other people who are looking to look for or be added or try new exchanges and stuff like that, who don't really care for the ones that we have now, they will then say, okay, let's start using Bitpanda and see what kind of coins that they offer. This, I think, is incredibly significant news. SIX, the company that owns and operates the Swiss stock exchange, on Friday announced plans to launch a fully regulated cryptocurrency exchange, showing continued institutional interest in the space despite declining prices. So this is an article from Business Insider. So there's a lot of negative sentences when it comes to Bitcoin. They kind of lift it up and then smack it back down. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. This is a website that's traditionally for traditional money. So they make sure to not give, Bitcoin the hand up when they're kind of talking about it. The new SIX digital exchange will be overseen by the Swiss National Bank and Swiss regulator FINMA, the company said. Switzerland has been one of the most crypto-friendly jurisdictions in Europe, with regulators offering clear guidance on how they expect crypto companies to operate. SIX's decision to launch a crypto exchange despite a collapse in the value of cryptocurrencies and declining volume since the last year, told you. Bitcoin, the largest asset by market value, collapsed from around 20,000 per coin at the start of the year to just over 6,600 on Thursday. They have to lift it up and then literally like smack it back down to the ground. I think they do this for, what's it called? I've noticed a lot of other companies doing this as well. And I think it comes down to them trying not to get sued, because there were a lot of companies in 2017 that were actually boasting about the price of Bitcoin and its meteoric rise. And then when the prices fell, people were trying to sue them because people sometimes have nothing else better to do with their time. They said, this is the beginning of a new era for capital markets infrastructure. This was said by Jos Diegelhoff, who is the CEO of SIX, and he said that in a statement. He said, for us, it is abundantly clear that much of what is going on in the digital space is here to stay and will define the future of our industry, end quote. Investors and entrepreneurs in this space say that digital institutional investors are preparing the infrastructure needed to enter the space, setting up trading accounts and custody solution behind closed doors. That is definitely true. There's a lot going on that we have no idea about. One described the flurry of activity they are seeing as preparing for September to Business Insider, referring to a month typically associated with high post-summer trading volumes in the investment world, like I just said. September is typically the time where there's like a huge buildup, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's not only a time that I'm excited for, but I'm actually terrified for, because what's predicted to happen, I don't have many of the Bitcoin price predictions on here anymore, because a lot of them ranging from 300,000 to 1.5 million by 2018, the end of it, or 2019, are just kind of absurd. But what's predicted, I told you guys before, is that anywhere from 50 to 80,000. This is the number that's being quoted. A lot of people think, I think Tom Lee said yesterday that he still thinks 25,000 is a possibility. A lot of people are saying 50 to 80,000. They think that the market will completely surge as we have not only custody accounts, but we start to have once we have regulatory clarity. I'm telling you, it's when the billionaires know how much they will have to pay in taxes. This is when everything will kind of go insane. But September is typically the time in all markets, so it's assumed that the cryptocurrency market will also receive this rush of I need more money. When the market does go back up, it is going to be extremely fragile, as we've had at that point in September around 8 to 9 months of just complete sideways trending or complete going down of the market. So when or if the market does go up, it's going to be shaky. People are going to be, there are a lot of sell orders if you look around online. I don't day trade myself, but if you look around, you can see that a lot of people have sell orders around like $8,000 Bitcoin, $9,000 Bitcoin. There are a huge amount at around like 9,999 to miss it just before the 10,000, because everyone's afraid of some type of collapse as the prices are going back up. But when the prices do go back up, and if we eventually do hit an even $30,000 or $35,000, $40,000 Bitcoin, there's going to be a mad dash to try and exit the market, because everyone's going to be afraid. And as we hit 50,000, should we hit 50,000, an exact replica of what happened at 20,000 is going to happen. Don't place your bets that Bitcoin will end up hitting 120,000 unless something amazing happens and we get some crazy kind of news. When the market begins to hit 50,000, the price will start to shatter, and we will eventually fall back down like we saw from 20,000 to 6,000. So like I said, I'm extremely excited for the prices to eventually go back up. Who knows when that will happen? But when it does, there's going to be a lot of confusion. People who got in at 20,000 are going to start to try and sell at exactly when they got back in, hoping that they have made a good or are making a good move, just getting back what they made back in. But there's going to be some type of surge. I don't know when, and it's going to be one of the craziest things that we've ever seen in the cryptocurrency market. Be prepared. That's all I can say. Like always, please do your own research. This one is quite interesting. South Korea, a country that has banned ICOs, plans to loosen restrictions on cryptocurrencies based on efforts by G20 to create uniform regulations, according to the Korea Times. The G20 meeting established a July deadline for taking a first steps on unified regulations. The recent announcement from South Korea is part of a loosening of restrictions on cryptocurrencies as the digital asset becomes better understood. An official for the country's Financial Services Commission, the FSC, said the regulatory agency is not opposed to cryptocurrencies and has made revisions to address money laundering and other illegal activities. This is all they care about. South Korea requires international cooperation on cryptocurrencies, another official stated, and remains in its early stages of developing its regulations. The official further noted that uniform rules represent a challenge due to the large range of assessments among government agencies. You guys have heard me talking about other countries and how they feel about crypto. It's completely different from especially how Japan and South Korea, and let's say like even like Malta, have felt towards cryptocurrencies. Other countries completely vary. They really, a lot of them do not care for it, but at some point they are hoping to get some type of unified regulation. The government previously considered cryptocurrency non-financial products on account of their speculative properties. In May, Yook Suk Hwan, who was recently named the lead the Federal Supervisory Services, or the FSS, said he would consider revising cryptocurrency regulations, where the FSC inspects the FSS studies and supervises financial institutions under FSC oversight. So these are the actual G20 member countries. For those who are just listening, I will read them out. The members of the G20 are Argentina, Australia, Brazil, China, Canada, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Republic of Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, the United Kingdom, the United States, and the European Union. Whether all of these countries and entities and states will be able to come to some sort of crypto consensus, I highly doubt it. My belief still stands that everyone is actually just waiting for the United States. We're all adults here. We know exactly how much power the US wields, and typically what they say kind of goes, or other neighboring countries or partnering countries tend to do exactly as they say when they have decreed something. So it seems that this is supposed to happen sometime in July. It says the G20 meeting established a July deadline. I think I read this. It had to be sometime around February or even January. I think when we were just beginning to talk about regulations, we really didn't care, or really, I don't think, thought how much of an impact regulations would have on the cryptocurrency space. I guess it was like this euphoric period where we assumed prices would kind of continue to go up forever. They did not. But as of now, I definitely remember reading July. So as of now, it seems like sometime in July. Would be nice if it would be Monday. But all these countries apparently going to try and release some type of statement about exactly how they feel on the cryptocurrency space. As of now, I don't think anyone in this list has banned cryptocurrencies, or I think only 2 or 3 of them have outright banned ICOs. I think that is Russia, I think it's South Korea, and I want to say Indonesia. Don't 100% quote me on that. But hopefully we get some type of, one law to rule them all kind of thing, so the market can get back to order, because we all know at the end of it, it just comes down to them trying to figure out who's using it for taxation, and the KYC, the know your customer type of thing. They want to know exactly who's using them. This is all it comes down to. And the fact that they have taken 7 months to kind of band together to give us what they already know is going to happen. I mean, it's just how countries are. We all live in a country, so we know exactly how they can be when it comes to laws. Next up, the Philippine Central Bank, the Banco Central ng Pilipinas, I know I butchered that, the BSP, has approved applications filed for 2 new cryptocurrency exchanges. News outlet Business World reported on July 6th. The deputy governor of the BSP, Chuchi G. Fonancier, reportedly said that Virtual Currency Philippines Incorporated and ETRANS have been accredited as platforms which allow them to convert Philippine pesos into virtual currencies. With this move, the 2 exchanges joined already operating exchanges Remittance Inc., Bitor Inc., and Bloom Solutions. The central bank has recognized digital currencies for their potential to provide faster and cheaper transactions, but remains cautious of the potential risks of crypto volatility, criminal involvement, and cyber security, because that's all that's happening in the cryptocurrency space. BSP has previously considered whether the new exchanges should register as e-money issuers because they offer wallet services for their clients. Fonancier said that internal consultations advised against such a requirement in the interest of providing a streamlined registration process for new market players. He said, we are refining the rules. If your business model has a portion making use of e-wallet, then there's an additional requirement, but not necessarily or automatically an e-money license, end quote. So they have very few places where people are actually allowed to exchange. This is why them adding even 2 more is very significant. We don't hear about the Philippines too often when it comes to cryptocurrencies. And I have a feeling it's probably not the easiest thing in the world for people in that country to be able to buy, sell, or even hold cryptocurrencies. But it's nice that at least 2 more places have been approved. This definitely helps. Like I said, a lot of people tend to sway to one exchange or another. If you had a bad experience on one exchange, you will typically tell your friends, don't use this exchange, use this one because I've had a better time on it. So if these have not been up to par, people will then start to use the other ones, but this is always good news. Anything that's not a ban or people adding new exchanges or something else being integrated into something is always good news in my book. Last bit of country hopping that we have here. Kenya's MPs, or Member of Parliament, have given the Treasury Secretary a 2-week deadline by which they must decide the fate of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, specifically regarding their status as legal tender in the nation of 48 million people. The deadline follows a warning issued in April by the Central Bank of Kenya, or the CBK. This 2-week, once again, follows in 2 weeks. We will definitely still be in July. So I think Kenya is probably also trying to not hop on the train, but just kind of get it out there as well. Hopefully it's something good. The Finance and National Planning Committee asked agency officials to explain the popularity of cryptocurrency trading in Kenya, as well as why the Treasury and the CBK were permitting the unregulated currencies to be traded and invested in with no licensing procedure or capital gains tax being required, echoing the familiar situation being seen in nations around the world as government regulators start to finally take notice of the surge in crypto trading. The committee chair, whose name is Joseph Limo, laid out the situation in no uncertain terms. He said, "We are surprised to hear that even the Central Bank Central Bank of Kenya is not aware that there is a lounge at Kenyatta University, an ATM in town, and a hotel in Nyeri which trade in bitcoins. There is bigger problems in Kenya since people are trading billions in virtual space, yet the Treasury has not licensed and taxed it like trade in M-Pesa and bank transactions," end quote. The CBK did issue a notice to the public in December of 2015, warning the public about the use of digital currencies, stating in the document that virtual currencies such as Bitcoin are not legal tender in Kenya. I keep saying the K and I think Korea. And therefore, no protection exists in the event that the platform that exchanges or holds the virtual currency fails or goes out of business. The notice goes on to list other risks associated with cryptocurrencies. The way I feel about this, I don't know if you picked up on the terminology or what the guy earlier was saying. I feel like they thought in 2015 that cryptocurrencies was a major passing fad and that all they had to do was tell people that there was a risk associated, that it was not legal tender, and that this in some sort of way would stop people from using cryptocurrency. I don't know if this is the way that I kind of read it. It seems, even like over here, he says he's surprised that the central bank did not know that there's a hotel in the country that is using Bitcoin, that there's a Bitcoin ATM in town, or that there's, I assume, some type of crypto lounge in the major university. It kind of shows that they probably just didn't care. There are a lot of countries, I'm sure you may have noticed in your own country, wherever you may be listening from, a lot of countries didn't really expect cryptocurrencies to become anything. They released some type of, not even regulatory framework. They released something in around 2014, 2015 that was just a warning. I remember just about every country had done this, and then we didn't hear anything about regulations until around 2017. It seems like, not that they're out of touch, but like, what's the story? Like I think it's the king on the high hill. You'll have a certain viewpoint of things, and you assume that if you tell people from on top of the hill, if you scream down to them, they'll obey your law simply because you are higher up, but you don't realize that at the highest point on the top of the hill, you can easily be pushed off or roll down. That is not me telling you to push and or roll your central bank off the top of the hill. But it's more so the point that we had, they just don't, a lot of them I think are really perplexed as to what cryptocurrencies are. There's a meeting if you have time this weekend or any other time, if you have nothing else to do and you want to expand your mind a little bit. There was a session a couple of months ago between, I think it was members of parliament in the UK against the people from Ripple. I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube. Just type in like UK Parliament Ripple discussion or something like that. It's like an hour long. So like I said, if you have time to just listen to it. And they had no idea what cryptocurrencies were, how it worked, how wallets worked, why people were using cryptocurrencies. They completely seemed perplexed as to the situation with cryptocurrencies. So I think it's kind of the same thing. This is still, like I said, 2 weeks away. I'm not too hopeful on Kenya, and that's because I haven't heard a lot from them over the last couple of years in the cryptocurrency space. We've heard about South Africa, definitely. But if they do something good, I'm assuming we're going to have not a ban, but some type of regulation. And it's probably going to be like something a little ridiculous. There's a chart that my friend showed me, the friend who I'm always talking about. I didn't include it in this video because it wasn't really relevant. But at this point, I'll talk about it a little bit. It was talking about the legal status of cryptocurrencies in a number of countries and their taxation rules. And there were a lot of countries who are, I didn't mean to laugh. In all seriousness, there are a lot of countries who are taxing people anywhere from like 45 to 60% on their cryptocurrency holdings. And you notice that on the graph as well, there are like other places where it shows like, it shows Puerto Rico, it shows Germany, and it shows, I think, a number of other places that have like 0% tax on cryptocurrency. I've said this before and I'll keep saying it. I'm pretty sure the countries that will end up making it are the ones that either have anywhere from like 10% tax or less. The fact that there are countries out there that have 0% tax on their cryptocurrency trades, this is why they are kind of flourishing. When you tell people that you can make money and then pay no taxes on it, that is a very huge incentive. I can't remember which country exactly had the 55% tax, but I'm pretty sure people in that country are already moving, because if you think about it realistically, can you imagine having, on some off chance, having made $1 million in 1 year from cryptocurrency trading or anything else, and someone tells you, give me 600,000 of what you just made? I remember 2 or 3 years ago, you can also Google this as well. No, it had to be 3 or 4 years ago. Anyway, the point is, in France, they were trying to tax the richest people that lived in the country. And I think they were trying to tax them, I think it's like 80 or 90% on their money. It was something to do with taxing the rich so that the people in the lower class, I think it was supposed to only happen for a year as well. It was supposed to be this huge initiative to get rich people to pay more taxes. And there were a number of celebrities who actually literally packed their bags, moved to Switzerland, and I think one of the most famous ones actually gave up his French citizenship, and he actually moved to Russia, if I'm not mistaken. Just kind of what happens. I mean, I don't understand why countries haven't gotten the hint that people don't, if you worked really hard, especially if you've been doing something for a long time and someone tells you that you have to pay 90% on the money that you made, or even 60% or even 55%. It's kind of a lot. I can, not to talk about taxes for too long, I can kind of get behind, 25, 30%, maybe even 33%, especially if it's going to help people. Why am I talking about this? I'm sorry. I was completely rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Thank you for not minding, or minding, I'm used to saying minding my slower speech. It actually does help a lot, especially on the weekend. I just woke up about 40 something minutes ago, so it's nice to be able to have a slower pace. See, I didn't really mess up that much as I was talking either. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys have a great sunny weekend. Hope you guys have great weather. Hope you enjoy your time at the beach, wherever you're going. Thank you once again for all your support, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.